Okay, well, hey neighbors, and welcome to the Shed Shop in this edition of How To. Today is, November 20, 2023. I have on my bench a STIHL MS390. This saw was my Nightmare MS290. I received an MS290 that ran as a trade-in towards two vintage STIHL 028 chainsaws from neighbor Eric. He's a local neighbor and he's a subscriber neighbor. And that 290 ended up having a score mark all the way down the cylinder, even scored, not transfer, a score mark. That top end, even though it ran for my purposes of refurbishment, that's not a top end I would use. And so this saw, ironically enough, got purchased by a neighbor that works with Ace Awesome Arborist. His tag here is Aaron Battle. He is an arborist that climbs trees, and Derek is a guy that works with him, and Ace is the best friend of Eric, who bought my 028s, and Ace is actually one of my greatest customers. He brings me hella ton of work, and he pays me hella good. He pays me probably 25% beyond what he owes pretty much every time, and sometimes even more than that. Derek purchased this saw, and we were converting it to a STIHL MS390. So it takes it from what's the 290 cc's? 57 cc saw to a 64 cc saw, and it's literally the same setup. The only difference is the cylinder and piston. All the other parts are same, so you can convert any of the 1127 series saws to a 390 or anything. All the motors are interchangeable, so that includes your 029, your 029 Super, your MS290, your MS310, your 039, not your 039, I think the 039, but it's not in the 1127 series, don't quote me on that, and then your MS390. And so we put a Highway MS390 top end on this chainsaw, and I had idled it through an entire tank. If you're a regular to the channel, you know we had some Permatex gasket maker that went bad in the freeze last year, and so half a case that I spent well over $150 on is no good, because I had 3 saws with that gasket maker that leaked on the gasket, and so I chopped it up to my Permatex is bad. And so we've switched to the Honda Bond for now, and it has been working well. However, the boys said they were going to go ahead and retune the rest of the saw, or or continue to break in this saw. My break-in process is idle through an entire tank after I've put a brand new motor or rings or a piston in a saw, and then I cut with it through an entire tank. I'll start very rich, and as I go, about every 10 minutes, I'll lean the saw out, the high jet ever so slightly and the low jet ever so slightly, as I run the saw that second tank. I had only idled this through a tank, and these boys said that they could break the saw in. I'll see you, Rob Weaver. They could break the saw in the rest of the way. Well, they didn't do it properly, and so Derek ended up overheating the saw and blowing it up, basically. He brought it back to me, and we put a brand new Meteor piston inside our Highway top end with caber rings, and I was cutting with it. I will find the video and give you an info card of when this saw crashed. As I'm cutting, we put an Ironhorse style pipe on it right here. You'll get to see that, and it just blew up. And so we waited forever and ever for our MS390 top end from Highway. Thank you, Jesse at bluesaws.com, not only for providing me with the MS391 and MS390 top ends at an incredible price, and but also thank you for helping me get them covered under the warranty very easily. I gotta give it to Highway. I told them what was wrong with these top ends, and they sent me new ones right away. The problem is, I had a 391 top end that I purchased at the same time, and that was bad. Neighbor Dennis has gotten his saw back. He purchased my 391 because he had purchased an MS311 from a pawn shop, and they gave him a 30-day warranty, but they did him dirty. The saw blew up in the first week of using it, completely roach top end. So he traded in his towards a partial 391 I had. That Highway top end, unfortunately, did the same thing this one did. Highway sent me a brand new MS391 steel top end for a STIHL MS391. But the 390, they sent me a Husqvarna 390 top end. And so I messaged them, emailed them with the contact information Jesse Basinger at bluesaws.com provided me with. That was very kind of him, because I sell parts too, and I could have got my way into the door with Highway and just started selling Highway myself. But I won't do that to Jesse, because he's a very fair guy, and I like buying parts from him when he has what I need. With that being said, I emailed Highway and they said no problem. They put an MS390 top end in the mail for me right away, and so we waited for that to come from Taiwan. And they even let me keep the Husqvarna 390 top end, and I've not had to pay a single penny. So again, props to Highway for honoring their warranty, and props to Jesse Basinger with bluesaws.com. You guys go check him out. If his prices on some things are too high, you let me know, or you contact him through the website, and if he thinks this price is too high and he can lower it for you, this is the guy that will 100%, yeah, I can make a little bit less on that. I don't know why that price was so high. Those are two of the things he said to me when I've mentioned certain prices to him. That being said, we got our top end in, and if you follow this channel, you know on October 31, my uncle went into the hospital and ended up in critical care. As of today, November 20, he is still in the hospital and is projected to be there at least another 2 weeks. But he is on the rebound, and so that's good news. I also ended up getting arrested for some charges that were dismissed 3 years ago from Texas on November 6th. That was the day we were gonna start this saw. I had gotten the top end in the mail on Saturday, November 5, and so November 6, neighbor Jason was coming over, and we were gonna finish his dad's MS660, and then that was good. This one was gonna be next on the list. So here's what we're gonna do. This video is gonna be just a complete teardown of this saw, and it's gonna be part one of probably a 3-part series on this saw. Everything on this whiteboard that I do recording on now, we're gonna try and keep in a very organized fashion. Teardowns and everything else. This will be on the how-to video playlist, and I suppose I'll probably put it on the Dr. Diagnostics playlist and anywhere else that it's fitting. With that being said, neighbors, I'm going to turn you down to the bench, and I'm going to teach you how to tear this saw down. This is a saw I know very well, the 1127 series, and you need nothing more than your T27, a scrunch, maybe some pliers, and that's pretty much it. And so, let me glove up, and let's get to work, damn it, neighbors. Okay, so what I left out is this saw will also be on Warranties Honored playlist, and we don't know initially if it was Permatex or them not tuning right that caused this saw to blow up. But when I had the 391 top end do the same exact type of blow up this one did, malfunction, defect, whatever you want to call it, I chopped it up to a defective part. But either way, if I cannot irrefutably say that the customer caused the problem, I cover everything 100% labor and parts. Oftentimes that does lead to, especially with established customers, they will go ahead and foot part of the bill. So Derek and I agreed to split the cost of the new parts when we put a new meteor top or new meteor piston in it. And then when this blew up again, damn, oh wow. I don't know who put these damn these bar nuts on, but I can't get them off. I've got to use the drill. And so Derek has fully paid for this saw. He's put a lot of money into it. His muffler was $80 and change by itself, like $90 after tax. And so it's very nice that he was willing to go ahead and pay. And anybody that Ace has sent to me as a customer, or that Eric has sent to me, they take very good care of me, and they know that it's hard to find a guy that, even though a lot of times my lead times are very long, you can get that at pretty much any small engine shop, but they know they're going to get high quality work. Okay, so I just debarred it. That's the simple first thing. You can see we did put custom filling spikes on this, and so we have to pretty much take this whole saw down. So we're just going to turn our knob back here. Flip your lever down is a little bit easier. Take your air filter cover off. Oh, the other thing was that the saw got so hot, his whole recoil melted together and seized up. So this is a 310 badge. That's because his 390 badge is disappeared into the abyss somewhere, and I haven't located it yet, but he doesn't really care about that part. Why am I talking so fast, neighbors? Well, I haven't slept a lot, and I'm still struggling to find an attorney to take the case for the discrimination and civil rights violations in the hospital video. If you haven't seen that one, I'll go ahead and give you an info card to that. That's kind of an interesting video to watch. And then at the end of that one is an update video link, and I will try to make this an additional link. So if you want to skip off of this for now and go watch that 40-minute video, it is very entertaining, especially if you like First Amendment audit type stuff. Even though it was not an audit, it's an incidental audit. And so go ahead and remove your two flatheads to get your air filter off. Go ahead and pull your trigger in and pop your throttle lever off, and then you can twist it and unhook it from your carburetor. So if you want to say I'm on meth is what I was getting at, go ahead, you can. But I get real tired of that because, neighbors, I have highs and lows, good days and bad days, and I talk fast because to save time, to keep videos short sometimes, because we all have short attention spans. And then also because if I don't talk fast, I have to keep taking these massively deep breaths because I'm in pain and it's embarrassing. So then, as you saw, I just simply used a flathead to carefully pop this up and gently pull it out of its groove right there. And we will set those two parts aside. We're going to check and see if this has fuel. It does. I'm going to grab a jar and drain that. Okay, we got our fuel drained. Now we won't shoot our eye out with fuel when we pull our carburetor. When I'm done disassembling this saw, I'm going to turn right around and start the next video for you guys, which will be part 2, and that's going to be the reassembly with our new top end. Okay, so go ahead and remove your two 8mm nuts here. Okay, 1 and 2. Remove your grommet shield here. I don't remember the technical term for that. Set that part aside. Go ahead and start pulling your carburetor, and you will do better if you hold your fuel line right there. Your impulse line is usually held by your tank, and just go ahead and give that a good tug. Work your grommet out here as well. Our grommet doesn't want to come out, it seems. Okay, there we are. Okay, and then go ahead and unplug your carburetor from your fuel line. It is easiest to go ahead and disconnect your tank vent from the hose. Set those parts aside. Go ahead and remove these two grommets here. Okay, washers, grommets, whatever you want to call them. Okay, we will set those aside as well. And then next we will go ahead and unplug our spark plug. I think we're going to have to reassess that and probably put a new coil in there. Not the coil, it's the little coil spring inside the boot that holds on to the spark plug. Go ahead and pop these AV stops off. There's multiple different ways to do this. I don't know that there's a right way and wrong way. You just kind of got to work them with whatever tool you can, and this is probably on the steel chainsaws, the thing that can really take a 30-minute tear down and turn it into a 1-hour tear down, because sometimes I really struggle to get these things out. They can get really stiff in there and be really hard to get out. So you've got that one, go ahead and pop your bumper strip off there, and then pop this AV stop. Okay, it is easy if you can get pliers worked behind it. That is one of the easiest ways to get them off, but it's not always easy to get your pliers behind it. I do like the angled needle nose for that. Okay, and then you're going to have, I believe, 7 on this model T27 screws to remove your wrap handle. So we're going to go ahead. We've got one up front here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that will go ahead and take your wrap handle off. Okay, we don't want to lose our screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got one more that didn't come out down here at the bottom. There we are, 7. Set your screws aside, and then this will simply just kind of pop off of everything here. Did we miss a screw? It feels like we did, but I don't believe we did. Okay, she's just being a little stiff. Okay, normally it will pop right off of there. Here we are. Go ahead and remove our wrap handle. We will set that aside. Okay, and then the next thing we can do is go ahead and get our recoil out of the way. It will be a little bit easier to leave this on for now. You're just going to have 4 T27s for your recoil. 1, 2, 3. How can you guys see? Are you doing okay? Good, you can see. And 4 here. Okay, almost all the screws on this are the same size. Okay, so you only have a couple that are smaller, and so it's really hard to mix up the screws. And then set your recoil aside. Next, we can leave our coil on, but we need to remove our flywheel. So we're gonna need a 13 mil for that. Okay, and the way I do it is I just hold my flywheel with my hand. Most of the time, I will loosen that up about halfway. Okay, and then use your socket. Take you a hammer. There are various ways to do this. Again, this is just one way, and the way I do it. Grab your flywheel with your needle nose. Hit your socket. Okay, twist your nut off the rest of the way, and your flywheel is off. And then we will go ahead and flip our saw over to the clutch side. We need to carefully, with a flat head, pop our retaining clip off by using the crankshaft as a pry. Remove your retaining washer, remove your sprocket, remove your needle cage bearing, and then we need a 19 mil, I believe it is, or a 3/4. This is reverse thread, so we're going to the right. You can try once. I usually do try this side because I have the flywheel. This one should come right off without a piston stop or anything. It does, okay, because I did just reassemble this saw and it hasn't had a lot of hours. Okay, set that aside. This is called your rotor clutch washer. Go ahead and pull your worm gear out, and then you're going to have 2 T27s for your oil pump that we need to remove. Yes, the oil pump will have to come off. Okay, 1, 2, right there. Okay, and then go ahead and lift your oil pump off. It will bend at the white elbow, and disconnect your oil line. I do believe I have oil in this, so let me go ahead and hemostat these off for now. That oil line. Okay, remove your oil line, and then pull your oil pump back. And as you can see, this elbow that connects up there kind of rotates to help that come off. Set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and put a silicone stopper in this oil line because I did not drain the oil. There really is no need to, as long as you can stop the flow. Okay, yes neighbors, I know I'm talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but as I said, the desire is to get this stuff done fast and keep the video as short as possible so that you guys can watch the whole thing without losing interest. Sometimes I lose interest in my own videos, but sometimes I really like what I have to say, because I don't believe it's always me saying it. I believe it is more of a spiritual thing. I did forget an AB stop here for our handle, and we'll go ahead and remove that. Our muffler was already removed, but normally you will have 3 8 mil bolts to remove your muffler assembly. And again, this is the Ironhorse muffler, Ironhorse style muffler. I don't know if it directly comes from him, but he's kind enough to share how to make these on his channel. He's a pretty good guy. From what I can tell by his channel, I do think he's fairly humble for the most part, and a fairly honest guy for the most part, and he doesn't seem super selfish or greedy. Okay, next thing we want to do is go ahead and remove our kill wire down here, the second aspect of it. Okay, and go ahead and remove that. And then you can take you a flathead or any tool and push the grommet holding your wires through. You want to go ahead and take your fingers and push your intake boot through. And then what we need to do is go ahead and remove this. There are a couple ways to do that, but if you can get your screwdriver behind it through to the other side, sometimes I'll use 2, and then just go ahead and do like so. Get it right to where it's the edge of the rubber, not the plastic, and you can go ahead and just kind of pry that out just like so. The impulse hose, it's going to be much easier to pop your impulse hose off of your motor back here. opposed to try and get it through your handle, okay? And then this handle, push your chain brake in to make it easier and just kind of work that off like so. The next thing we're going to do is you have 2 T27 screws for this shroud here. Okay, one there and one up front here. Okay, and then that will go ahead and come right off. Undo your spark plug wire from there and feed it off of your boot, and then we can set that part aside. And now finally, the next thing we have to do, again, this is not a 100% tear down. This engine pan is connected to this bar stud, and so I usually leave it in. So flip your saw completely over and you'll have 4 T27 screws down here. Go ahead and remove those. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna try and figure out, I've been practicing with the editing software and learning different things a little bits at a time. I hope this is the video where I can figure out how to fast forward just this screw removal type stuff. A lot of people don't believe me that I tear down saws as fast as I do sometimes, but you guys have to understand, when you do this regularly, you should see how fast they assemble these in the factory. A lot of guys that work on these regularly can tear them down as fast or almost as fast as me. Now that we've got those done, what we want to do is go ahead and get our cylinder off, and we really have to just break the seal. Sometimes you can just pry and sometimes you cannot. This one is going, but I forgot we have one screw over here. I am hand turning this because these are just, they're just famous for breaking, infamous, whatever you want to say. And so I'll go ahead and remove this one, and when we put it back in, we're going to go ahead and put it back in by hand or with a soft drill, not an impact. And we'll use a good solid goober of Loctite. And then with this screw, I usually just put it right back in so I don't lose it. Okay, but given that we are not reusing this top end, I'm not going to do that. We will set it aside. As you can see, my seal has started to break, and so I can just very carefully work my cylinder off of my pan. Okay, like so. Is this bitch seized up? I don't recollect it being seized up. And then once I get it up that way, I can go ahead and just kind of start twisting it up. It's kind of hard to explain the motion. I'm going to go ahead and turn my counterweights out of the way here to make it a little bit easier. If you have the motor spun a certain way, you get a little bit more play, a little bit more space. I'm sorry. I usually don't have to remove the engine pan. I can usually shimmy this right off and then right back on without actually removing the engine pan, but I feel like I've missed something, and so that's what I'm looking for right now. I don't see anything missed. I'm just struggling a little bit. Let's turn that bitch a little bit more. There we go. And then go ahead and remove. Sometimes I have to hit this with a rubber mallet. Go ahead and remove your crankshaft. Yeah, those seals sealed on really good. There we are. And the only thing we're salvaging off of this is our crankshaft itself and the bearings, because we did replace these bearings with brand new ones. I believe we used Pharmatech bearings. It would have been Pharmatech or Highway or RTF. Okay, so pop that clip out. Okay, and then push your wrist pin through with really anything you can use. This one might be a little tight, and so we can carefully, if we have to, we will try some other things first. We can carefully tap it through if we have to. And so since I can't push it, I am going to tap it through, but I'm holding, so I'm not beating on my arm. I'm holding this the weight on the piston so that I'm not putting, again, pounding on the arm. And it's going, but it's not going very good. So I'm going to go ahead and use my hammer as kind of a prop here so that I can hit it a little bit harder without putting, again, strain on the piston arm itself. And I think I'll use a smaller thing here. That one is kind of snug in there. Okay, she is going just slowly. Just again, I don't like banging on the arm. You don't want to bend that arm. It's pretty strong and hard to bend it, but I just don't prefer to take chances on it. So all the force is really hitting the piston, not the arm. That should be through enough. It is. Our highway kit will come with the new wrist pin. We do want to keep our needle cage bearing. It is in good usable condition. And so that is it, neighbors. That is how you disassemble your STIHL MS390, and also this applies for the 029, 029 Super, the MS310, the I believe again 039, but I'm not 100% certain on that one right now, and your MS390. And so we have here real quick, where is our top end, neighbors? What did you do with it? We have our top end right here. So let's go ahead and open that and make sure Highway did send us the right one. And if so, that will be the close of this video. And then I'm gonna go get some water, catch my breath for about 10 minutes, possibly lay in my bed for an hour, because I just flared up my neck pain working that fast. And then we're gonna reassemble this saw tonight, so that tomorrow evening, I hate that it gets so dark. It feels really late, but it's only like 6 o'clock maybe at the latest right now, 6 p.m. Central Time. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. Here we are. It says cylinder kit GX039 49 millimeter. It is a 49 millimeter assembly on the 039 Super. Look at that. Even comes with a pan. I don't usually use the pan. It comes with bolts. I will not use those cylinder bolts. It comes with the decom plug. I only use decom valves if my customers want them, or it's a big saw. On the like 391s, 311s, and MS390s, I prefer to plug it up with that. So right now it is looking like the correct cylinder. It is indeed our correct 49 mil. There it is, 49. There's our wrist pin. There is our circlips here, right there. A lot of guys use the OEMs. I have reservations about using those, so I might reuse my OEM clips, but I've yet to have those pop out of any Highway top ends that I have built, and so I might also use that. I also like Meteor and Caber, their rings just come in plastic like this, or a tube. If I order 100 of them, they're just in a piece of paper tube. And I really like how Highway does these. I just wish their pistons slide around real bad, and so sometimes you get chipping on the bottoms. They do have this in there, but I think they should put this in and then put our piston in like so. Okay. And then I honestly think they should either install the top end into the box like so, or they should have something additional on the bottom there. But they usually either that, or when they put this packaging in or this foam in, I think they should really push it down nice and snug. And so they have their pistons usually in upside down like so. Okay. And I like that. I just don't like how it bangs that hard. And then that's in there. So it can't slide around. And so there we are, neighbors. That's it for this video. Not bad. We got it done in under 30 minutes. Again, I don't care who believes or doesn't believe how fast I tear these saws down. That's up to you. Sometimes it takes me 2 hours because I hurt so bad, but I have always been the type of guy, I like to work fast, okay? And I don't like to take breaks, because the more breaks I take, the more tired I get. I like to just go, 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 go. But I'm not always able to do that these days. I sometimes have to lay down for 2 and 3 hours in between an hour or half hour of work. That is just the reality of my disability. We have good days and bad days when we're disabled, and I have to work when I have good days. And when I have bad days, sometimes I tinker a little bit. There's days that I come out and tinker because I'm in so much pain I just can't lay still in bed trying to sleep. and my mind will consume me, and so I'll make myself hurt worse by tinkering. But it keeps me sober. And I know I get comments a lot that I'm on meth and this and that. Well, neighbors, you don't know me. The eyes don't lie. Here they are. Go ahead. You want to say my pupils are pinned and this and that and dilated? Guess what? I'm in that a lot. I'm in that a lot. The last time I had somebody say I was on meth, I was looking for a circlip to an MS310 that we have over here. I lost one of the clips. And I was saying that I used to dig on the floor for crack crumbs, for crack rocks that I might have dropped to get my last hit, because I run out of money. And now I don't. You have to understand, darkness down there, light up here. Your pupils will adjust to light. And again, I know I shouldn't give a shit. In a lot of ways I don't, but at the same time, I'm very proud of the place I have come in my life. I do give credit to the King of the Universe, because I can't do this shit without him. And so when people call me a liar about my sobriety, it really does impact me, because I don't know why I want people to believe me so much, but I do, because I hate when people misjudge my character on certain things, and my honesty is one of them, and my hard work to get where I am with my sobriety. And somebody says I'm definitely on meth and this and that. Oh, I like your videos, but you're obviously on meth. Don't worry about it, dude. Your videos are rad, and I'm gonna keep watching. Well, that's fine. You can keep watching. I appreciate that you like my videos, but you have to understand that it's just, in my opinion, not okay to just make these assumptions and stipulations that I'm on drugs. Because again, I have worked so hard to get here, neighbors. And so, y'all that are regulars, say it with me: be kind to one another. Everyone's facing a battle. I love all 8 billion of you, even if I don't know that I actually do, and even though I suck at it. So let's keep persevering, neighbors. And until next time, the end card right here that you're going to see is going to be the reassembly of this, and I'll try to also give you one to the Nightmare MS390, in which I had that saw sold, and I disassembled it, and we found that massive score mark. And I was on a marathon roll that night, and that kind of devastated my night. That little 290 that I thought was going to be a quick flip saw, and I had to call a customer and cancel his order because 390 top ends. I waited 9 months. My Meteor order was supposed to arrive today, according to FedEx. They finally released it from customs, but it hasn't come. But FedEx runs until about 8 or 9 at night in this neighborhood, so hopefully it will come today, and we should have five of the 15 MS390 top ends we ordered from Meteor. So that's it, neighbors. Until next time, go ahead and click the link so you can watch the reassembly.